We have some major breaking news. Additional criminal charges have been filed against Donald Trump and JD Vance in Springfield, Ohio, for the lies they spread about that town and the chaos that ensued. Now, last week, we already talked about how criminal charges had been filed against Donald Trump, but now additional charges have been added. This is a breaking news story. We just learned of it, so let's dive right in. So, as I mentioned last week, we got this reporting from a number of news agencies. It says Haitian nonprofit files criminal charges against Donald Trump and JD Vance over Springfield statements. The leader of the nonprofit Haitian Bridge Alliance filed charges against Trump and his running mate JD Vance for the chaos that ensued from their uncorroborated statements about immigrants in Springfield, Ohio, eating pets, according to the Cleveland law firm representing the agency. And that Cleveland law firm is the Chandra Law Firm. And they said that the nonprofit used a state statute allowing private citizens to, quote, file an affidavit charging the offense committed. So this state law actually allows private individuals to file charges if they believe said individual has committed a crime. Now, they still have to go before a judge and a court and kind of argue about this stuff, but these charges were filed, and they include, for example, disrupting public service, making false alarms, committing telecommunications harassment, committing aggravated menacing and violation, committing aggravating menacing, and finally, violating the prohibition against complicity. But now, that same law firm have announced today that they've added a felony charge of, quote, inducing panic. And this is the new indictment. As you can see, the inducing panic is now the third one down in this new indictment against Donald Trump. It is a pretty long indictment. It goes in depth about how Donald Trump and JD Vance, or I should say a complaint. It's not an indictment, it's a complaint. It goes in depth about how Donald Trump and JD Vance broke the law very clearly, and now they've added a felony charge of inducing panic. And the law firm put out a statement talking about this, saying, quote, released today, just moments ago, today, Gerline Joseph, executive director of the Haitian Bridge Alliance, amended her criminal charges against Donald Trump and JD Vance to add counts of inducing panic under Ohio Revised Code Section 2917.31 and its Springfield Codified Ordinance counterpart, SCO Section 509.06. The amended charges and bench memorandum accompanying it are here available, which is where you can access the indictment. They address Trump and Vance's misconduct directed at Springfield, Ohio Haitians population, resulting in harm that the community and the community as a whole documented in detail. The additional charge provides in relevant part, which is inducing panic. It says, in the parts that have been violated, quote, no person shall cause the evacuation of any public place or otherwise cause serious public inconvenience or alarm by doing any of the following. 1, initiating or circulating a report or warning of an alleged or impending fire, explosion, crime, or other catastrophe, knowing that such report is false, threatening to commit any offense of violence, committing any offense with reckless disregard of the likelihood that its commission will cause serious public inconvenience or alarm. Now, when we're reading those things, to me, all of them sound very applicable to Donald Trump and JD Vance, right? They're warning of an alleged catastrophe, that something is imminent, that and their claim is, oh, these immigrants are destroying your city, that it's imminent. This is an imminent danger. He's calling it a national security threat. And then after claiming that, we have all of this chaos. We have schools getting bomb threats, churches getting bomb threats, hospitals getting bomb threats, all of them having to be evacuated, and Haitian folks who are here legally having to hide out in their home because they're scared of going outside. And look, committing any offense with reckless disregard of the likelihood that its commission will cause serious public inconvenience or alarm. That one in particular very much applies to Donald Trump and JD Vance. A complete recklessness in their conduct. Anyway, their announcement goes on. Accompanying the amended criminal charges is an amended bench memorandum that explains why the First Amendment affords no protection to Trump and Vance for their alleged criminal misconduct. It cites cases where Ohio courts have rejected the defense where far less havoc was wreaked. The original charges were filed on September 24th and explained here. And the lead counsel of this case put out in a statement saying, quote, if anyone else relentlessly made false alarms, disrupted public services, and induced panic like Trump and Vance, resulting in 33 bomb threats with schools, colleges, and government buildings being evacuated and closed, fear for children and parents having to care for their children at home, hospital lockdowns, cancellation of a 20-year running community festival, threats to the mayor and his family, threats to a business person hiring Haitians, and fear by Haitians in the community, including a father and kids held at gunpoint in their garage, they would have been arrested by now. Trump and Vance knew what they were doing and persisted even after the mayor, city manager, and governor said that they were wrong. They must be held accountable to the rule of law like the rest of us. We await word from the courts and then the prosecutors about whether there's equal justice under law in Springfield. So as I mentioned, while this is a state statute allowing private citizens to file charges against others for alleged misconduct, they do have to go through a process of like going through the courts and then going to prosecutors, making their case and things like that. But this is serious stuff. An additional felony charge of inducing panic has been filed against Donald Trump and JD Vance. And I love this statement from the lead counsel because it's like, yeah, if you, me, or anybody else did what Donald Trump did, and we induced panic like Donald Trump did, leading to all of these awful things, we would be sitting in jail right now. We'd be sitting in jail right now with so many felonies you couldn't even count. But since it's Donald Trump and JD Vance, do they suddenly get a free pass? No, not at all. Are you kidding? No, not at all. They must be held accountable for this stuff. And the hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars that Springfield, Ohio has racked up in fees, somebody has to be accountable for that. All of this is because of Donald Trump. This town and this community has been terrorized by Trump and JD Vance. There has to be some accountability. And I love that this Chandler law firm and this lead counsel gentleman are taking that action and making it happen. And hopefully the courts and the prosecutors take it up. Now, whether that happens or not, we'll have to see. It's still very much up in the air, but they should. It seems like to me, just reading this and reading the charges that they have filed, that there's a pretty strong case to make here. And look, the last thing I'll say is, aside from the legality question surrounding what Trump and JD Vance did, I think there's a very solid case there, but just put that aside for a second. I think that what they did morally is disqualifying. Morally, it's reprehensible. Think about this. Somebody who's running to be president and somebody who's running to be vice president has terrorized an American town, a town of which they're hoping to represent. Right? This is a town of people that they're hoping to have influence over if they win the Oval Office and win the White House this November. And yet they're going after their own people. What, for political points? It's disgusting. So whether these charges actually get brought up and filed in criminal court or not, it doesn't change the fact that what Trump and JD Vance did is disgusting. It's reprehensible. And if the law won't hold them accountable for this, then we, the voters, must this November at the ballot box. Remember to either register to vote or check your registration, make a plan to early vote, get out there and support Kamala Harris. This is important stuff. We can't let people like Donald Trump and JD Vance in the Oval Office. So anyway, major breaking news here, huge report. I had to bring it to you as soon as possible. And I will wrap up the video there. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you being here. Make sure to subscribe to the channel down below. It really helps, goes an incredibly long way. Also drop a like on the video and comment. Let me know what you think about all this stuff. And as I always say, I greatly appreciate you, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day.